Will Tampa be on the dirty side and get tornadoes?
Oh, that's
Damn,
another thing.
I wish.
Thank you for bringing that
Damn,
up.
I wish Tristian was here to talk about that, because that's his specialty. I
Yeah,
wish he was here, so I could talk to him about it.
that's very true with the tornado risk.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if we can get Tristian to come in here, because I would love to get his take on tropical tornadoes, because that's a risk we need to watch. Yeah, regardless, it's still going to be a serious situation. Be sure to like the stream and subscribe to the channel if you are new. We still have well over 200 viewers right now. It's very much appreciated. So be sure to like the stream, subscribe to the channel, and if you want to come hang out with us or ask us questions live on the air, be sure to join the Storms United Discord server. Link is in the pinned comment over there. We'll be watching for new members to come in. We would be very much appreciative if you did that. Okay, let's answer some more questions. Anyone worried about an hour east of Colombia could definitely get some outer bands at this current point. What else to worry about? Where along the Gulf Coast of Florida are the waters the hottest? We can go ahead and show you that.
Yeah,
They're like right off the coast of Tampa.
No,
Yep.
not even there, but pretty much the entire
Anywhere. Yeah.
northeastern quadrant of the Gulf is the warmest.
Oh wow.
That's how
There's even
expansive it
some
is.
spots of 33 degrees Celsius.
Oh my god.
Wait, what?
Oh man.
Let me see.
30. What was that?
Towards the shoreline.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
isolated.
it's all
That's not going to
neat.
affect
The
much.
shallow area.
That's
Did
not
y'all
going to
need me
affect
real
much.
quick? I am sorry. I have been trying to learn how to write a book.
Okay, Tristan.
So,
Okay, you're the man I needed to talk to you about, because we are talking about Tropical Depression 4 and the threat for tropical tornadoes. And since you're the tropical tornado guy, I figured I'd ask you for some advice on that.
And also,
so first of all, let's
Hold
take
on.
a look at the structure right now. As you can see, the structure is pretty. You don't have a lot of thunderstorms here. There is not a lot of shear. It's not a lot of land interaction, and it's a very broad field. So yeah, maybe 1 or 2 weak tornadoes. Maybe if the Cuban mountains can help with the terrain, but otherwise, the tropical tornado threat is pretty low. My question is, what will be the structure when it gets to Florida? That's where you need to ask the real question. Because Florida is flat. Doesn't have as much lift and stuff. And unfortunately, I do apologize for this. I haven't looked at models because I've been trying to learn something that takes 20 years for writers to do.
We haven't
So that's why I
looked
have
at them
not been
very
looking.
much either because of the initialization of it.
Yeah, but if you notice something, it might be a worse situation than you think. Because there's one thing I think people pay. I need to ask y'all. Did you realize the center relocated?
It moved south of Cuba. That's what we know.
That's a relocation. And this is not for the viewers to panic. Do not panic over this, but this is my observation. Every time we have had a historic hurricane, it's been a center relocation.
Okay.
So that's the trend I've been seeing. Will this one do it?
We don't
Probably
know.
not.
We've seen
It's
that
going to be a
before.
hurricane. There's no way it's not a hurricane. You got the perfect divergence, got the waters. Could it mess up a little bit over Cuba? Yeah. But I do think that it will likely, that doesn't mean guarantee, it will likely stay weak until after Cuba. And then depending on the structure, the waters, how much it gets organized, we'll see. But tropical tornadoes depends on so many things. First off, if a hurricane rapidly intensifies too much, it gets more of a circular shape or an annular shape.
Yep.
Which means it doesn't have much room for a tornado.
Yeah,
if
look
a
at-
storm can strengthen but keep the rain bands on the northeastern and eastern side a bit more loose to promote supercell development within its outer bands, you can get tornadoes. It also depends because if you get even a little bit of dry air in that system, it can promote tropical tornadoes. Trough angles can produce tropical tornadoes, especially if the trough's shear is able to align with the system or the remnants of the system.
Yeah.
There's just so many things to determine the threat level of tropical tornadoes. If I were to, I I guessed a good number for barrels. I'm going to guess again. The amount of tropical tornadoes I would predict for this right now, with the knowledge I don't know, but also because it's the southeast U.S., and if it does a Hermine-like move, what a lot of models kind of wanted so far, then it's going to have a very good right band. So I would predict maybe at least 15 to 20 tropical tornadoes. That is a estimate. That's not guaranteed. But I've seen too many systems. Before people say it's going to peak at a Category 1, I think it's going to peak between a 2 and a 3.
What makes you say that?
Okay. There's 2 more. There's no way. Your divergence.
I wouldn't be surprised by that either. I would not be
wouldn't be surprised.
Okay, yeah.
In
What
fact,
makes you
I
think
wouldn't be
that?
surprised. It has the perfect shape.
In
It's a
what
perfect
way?
circulation. You gotta look at it carefully.
Okay.
It's perfect. It's what you want for a strengthening system. The question is,
Could you explain to our audience
can
what
you-
that would detail? Because they don't know what exactly you're talking about.
Yeah.
if you can look, the circulation is just there. All the bands are circulating. There's a tiny bit of shear in that one island of the Bahamas. Okay. But around the storm, you don't have much dry air. You don't see a lot. It
All
has a nice circulation already. And that circulation is now becoming the dominant circulation. And then you got all these bands. Now, here's the one question I do have. And this is where I have not looked at. And unfortunately, I don't know if I can give y'all a complete answer. Is how much shear will there actually be?
I'm looking at it right now.
Considering that...
Yeah, go ahead.
Considering that the models wanted to... A lot of the models were doing the old circulation. So for the next 12 to 18 hours, and this is normally how it goes, I don't think we're going to get a lot of data. This is going to be one of those storms where the moment we know what's going to happen, you got 36 hours. You got 48 only.
Yep.
So if you are in Florida, I would say get ready for all the way to a Category 4.
Whoa. Okay.
That's a
little extreme right now. This thing's tropical. This is not even a tropical storm yet.
It's a bit too much.
The same thing happened during Michael. The same thing happened during so
That
many
is
systems.
true.
I'm
That
not
is-
saying a Cat 4 is going to hit.
Okay.
overhype this.
Time out, one at a time. Let's
Let
let
me explain
Tristan
it.
finish what he has to say, and then
I am not saying a Cat 4 is going to happen.
Okay.
But the weakness of our forecasters with systems this close is intensity. Am I saying a Cat 4 is going to hit? No.
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 Not
We're
at all.
absolutely not saying that.
conditions-
Just
do
for
the condition
disclaimer purposes,
support-
we're not saying that. We just
Do the kid?
yeah.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Do the conditions support rapid intensification? Does the shape support it? Does the shear angle support it? Yes. So I'm saying get ready for that high only because of the least regret.
All right.
There are so many systems where we have said it's only going to be a tropical storm in the Category 1, and it ends up hitting us a 4 or a 5.
Okay.
So all I got to say to the viewers is be prepared for the worst case scenario. And with the intensity guidance with this one, it's going to be very confusing.
All right.
Most likely. Now,
Okay.
the National Hurricane Center, in terms of the track, it could shift a little bit, but I kind of do agree on their track. The problem is that I'm basically get ready for a Cat 1 to a Cat 4.
Okay. With
Because
that in
we need to be,
okay. With
we need
that
to be prepared.
okay. All right. With that in mind, Yoshi, I know you wanted to say something. You have the floor.
Yeah.
All right, but the only thing I was going to say is that even saying that a Category 2, at least according to these forecasts, is a tiny bit too much. Not out of a question.
All right.
I will respectfully say
I do
every time we've said that, it happened.
Well,
Every
here's the
time
thing.
we
But we
said
can't
it was
go
We
going
don't know what's going on just yet.
We can't go bonkers just because another system did this. Like
Look, every
people
year's-
can say this about every
Yeah.
single system.
Like this
Even
isn't
if it turned
2020.
out weak, someone likely already said, but Hurricane Katrina was only supposed to be a Category 1, so this thing's going to be a 5, and then it turns out to be slop. We can't say this for every
True.
single system.
I'm
We're
just gonna
saying
say,
get prepared for the worst, hope for the best.
yeah, and I'm just gonna say,
Can I
Cat
say
5's another
something?
question.
Okay.
No, I don't see, and this is the problem with Gulf of Mexico systems like this. Ida did it. Michael did it. All of them did it. We said it was going to be weak, and then they weren't.
Okay.
But there were other systems that we said that were going to be strong, and you just have to get ready for the worst. That's the rule
All
of these Gulf of Mexico systems.
Okay.
If it's only a tropical storm to Cat 1, be thankful. Because you don't know what's going to happen. And before people make fun of me, remember when we said Barrel was only supposed to be at least a Cat 3?
We said that.
Yeah, and we all make mistakes. And that's why I say get ready for the worst case situation. Because just because we know what the track whatever is doesn't mean it can't change. We have human error. Forecasts have human error.
All
We're
right.
still struggling on rapid intensification.
Tristan,
Just
I
get ready
can
for a
see.
major, and if it doesn't happen, be thankful.
Okay.
That's my
okay.
advice.
Tristan, I can see Cat's a big fan of you.
Wow.
Okay. First of all, Tristan, as much as I appreciate your commentary on that, I can't subscribe to the alarmist, be thankful it's just a Cat 1. I do see the risk in regards to this, but there's not enough evidence to support this being anything higher than a high upper end Category 1, except for the fact that we saw this happen over the last 6 years.
And not only that, but you got waters over 30 to 31 Celsius.
I see that as well. I see that as well. But the thing is, this thing isn't even hasn't even crossed Cuba yet. And
so the problem you have with this system is that it's not that. It's we don't have a lot of data on the new center.
Yeah, that's kind of unfortunate.
But the trend of the new center is you go more west. If you go more west, you have more water.
That's true, and you're getting closer to the loop current. But I don't want to. I'm not.
We don't want to tell people it's going to be a major and it's not going to be. But I also don't want to say that it's not going to be a major and then people get confused. And then
I understand.
And then they risk their lives.
I get that, but we can't. Well, we can't just say this has a high chance of being a major hurricane because other models have done that.
At all.
I know you're not, but I know you're not, and I know I'm kind of over exaggerating a little bit, but I don't want people to subscribe to that belief.
And don't there's always the saying, prepare for the worst, hope for the best, and this is one of those systems.
Yep.
So many Gulf of Mexico systems have tricked us, and that's why all I'm saying is get ready for a major, and if it doesn't happen, be thankful. But it's better to be prepared with human error.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with the human error part of it, but I don't want to go around and say you should be thankful this was not a major hurricane. Not just because this is so uncertain. Hold on a second.
Okay.
Let me say this. I don't want people to think that, just a Category 1 isn't bad either, because it is. We saw what Beryl did in Texas.
We saw it in Beryl. Exactly.
We saw what Beryl did in Texas, and it was a Cat 1.
Can I say something?
Sure, go ahead.
Good.
The GFS new run is coming out, and it's further west.
Okay. Well,
for our viewers, all we're telling you is get ready for the worst, hope for the best. If it's not a major, then be thankful. But remember, just because a hurricane is not a major does not mean it won't do damage. In fact, models have been trying really hard to do a lot of rain on the Florida coast. I've seen some models with at least 25 to 40 inches of rain, even though I don't see that yet. We're going to look at the steering currents in the future to see what that occur.
Yep.
But guess what? We can't do that. Do you know why? Because there's now a new center. And that's the problem with me saying what I'm saying. There's a new center. It confuses everything.
All right.
It's just really... And for Tallahassee, I'm going to be honest with y'all over there. We don't know because a new center just was formed.
Well, that's
So for the people in
that I can
Tallahassee,
agree with.
just watch it and get ready. If nothing happens, then be thankful. But just prepare for the worst, hope for the best. And if the storm doesn't hit you, you did not waste your time because then you'll be ready for the rest of hurricane season.
There you go.
For another system to come.
Exactly. That's your point right there.
So just because you go to the store and you waste your supplies on one hurricane doesn't mean you wasted your money because now you have supplies for another hurricane.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
And I appreciate, and before people say, well, I appreciate people disagreeing with me because I could be wrong. I'm not a god. I'm just saying, get ready.
Yeah.
I'm not a god. I like disagreement because it makes a good conversation.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Okay. All right. That's a fair assessment. Does anyone have anything else they would like to say either in response to or in tandem of what Tristian was saying? Anyone?
Not really.
Okay.
I'm watching GFS, bro.
Yeah, I'm watching the GFS too. I was keeping an eye on it.
Yep.
It wants this thing as a 997 to hit the big millibar system to hit the Big Bend in 48 hours.
That's rookie numbers.
What?
That's rookie numbers. It would likely it will likely at least be a category.
Okay. Regardless, just
GFS is west and stronger.
And also, thank you, comic for EWE. It's an apology. I am tired. For the $20 donation.
Wow.
I do appreciate it here.
Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much for the $20 donation, comic. We really appreciate that here on the Pat's Path Predictor channel. It's not very often we get donations like that, and the fact you've contributed to some of your money to the Pat's Path Predictor channel to keep this channel going really warm. Really, it's humbling to see stuff like that. But yeah.
I will say the new Canadian that's coming out. I won't say worry about the intensity on it, but the track is west too.
Okay, yeah, I'm looking
further west.
The problem is it's initializing too far to the east. It's north. It's north of Cuba at 1 a.m. and we know that's not happened. That's the problem I have with it. Yeah,
I do think it will move more to the west because you don't have a trough. It's going to follow the It's really going to follow the Bermuda High.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
There is definitely some western shear that that's interesting.
Yeah, I'm looking at the tropical weather discussion. Alex actually sent in an image saying definitely some western shear. Any thoughts on that?
On what? What is
look at the?
I am cautious on that because models tend to underdo shear. They underdo or overdo. So that's the problem with the system. The new circulation has just made this.
There's what? Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. Get Alex to join VC. I want him to. He doesn't have a mic, so in VC no mic. I'm gonna have him yeah. I'm looking at this right now. This is all behind the scenes for those watching in, tuning in. If you want to come see the behind the scenes, join the Storms United Discord server. Link to that's the first one up there. We'd really appreciate that, so that way you can kind of see the wackiness that goes on. But in the meantime, subscribe to the channel if you are new and like the stream. It would be much appreciated, and I guess Tristan's a rather popular person to have on the stream, so, well...
I respectfully don't like popularity.
I mean, hey, the audience thought you were a hit, so you're gonna have to. How do I say this correctly? You're clearly gonna have to.
I don't want the audience. I don't want the audience taking if I do an analysis for the system or whatever. It's not all going to be 100% true. Forecasting is about trying to predict the uncertainty and the human error,
Of course.
versus the science and study that you do for what you study for.
Yes.
So we're going to be wrong in some things, and we're going to be right at some things. It just depends on how the system acts. Mother Nature can do whatever she wants.
Yeah.
That's
Just
true,
be ready
but
for the worst.
that's true. But I think the main focus we should take away is that we need to find new ways, and this is for everyone tuning in, and I know this is kind of going off on a bit of a tangent. We need to find new ways to reduce that margin of error, not just to save lives, but also to kind of, understand weather a bit more, because weather is such an unpredictable aspect of things that there's always a new mystery, and if we can harness that mystery a little bit better, it'll save millions of dollars down the road, and it'll save tons of lives. So I think that would be an important thing to kind of note at that point. So, but that's just me. But anyway,
a lot of people asking about Tallahassee. I can't answer that for you because the new center. Again, that's the problem we have. The models have not done the relocation of the center.
yeah.
And in order for us to understand the threats, we have to wait for a little bit more model data. And again, that's the problem with Gulf of Mexico systems. That's the problem with the Central American gyre systems. The low pressures and weak systems always like the change. And then the moment we think we figured it out, suddenly something happens.
Okay.
That's the rule for
convection
these systems.
continues to develop.
And that convection's doing very well. Again, the way the system looks, it's a classic tropical wave.
Yep.
It looks like a classic. It's so classic, and it's so scary to think. It's perfect. It's asymmetric, yes, but this is as close as you can get to a tropical wave. Not a tropical depression, excuse me.
Yeah.
A tropical depression that is rotating like this. That is perfect. How many tropical depressions have we seen, even for the beginning of systems, look like this? Not many. So this is one to take seriously. The question is, however, the biggest question is, how is the warm water going to fight against any shear? If we do have any, and Alice posted something about shear, right? Is that GFS 250 millibar?
Okay.
Wind speed streamline.
Well, regardless of that, I will tell you this, Tristan. Even though the convection, at least in that area, is doing kind of well, it's in a very small area, because none of the convection across a lot.
It's in a small area.
Yeah, it's in a small area. We're gonna have to watch it, but for now, for now, we just need to see how this develops first before we make our next move.
My biggest question is, right now, to the moment it gets off Cuba, that's my biggest question.
All right.
And then the next question is, what will the trough? There is a small trough I've noticed at the 250.
Yeah. Okay.
Alex corrected me on that again.
All right.
My God, thank you, Alex.
In the meantime, we have a $5 donation from Icy Shot. You guys are great. First
Thank
time
you.
tuning into your live streams. I enjoy all your guys' different inputs. Pat, you are extremely talented in the forecast. Thank you very much for the donation. It warms my heart every time that pops up. I always appreciate it. Oh, we got another $5 donation. From Toy Rocket over here. Could this reach Category 5 similar to Irma back in 2017?
No.
It doesn't have enough time.
Absolutely not.
No.
Impossible.
I appreciate the donation, but no, that's not going to happen.
We've seen some systems do amazing things.
We have, but we can't just...
This won't be one of them.
This won't be one of them. There's just too much uncertainty right now to really say that.
There's too much uncertainty. I'll give it a 0.5 chance just because anything can happen. That's the only reason why. But
I'll give it 0.1, but if you want to split the difference at 0.3, then go right ahead and split the difference. That's all I'll give it.
I do agree that there is a very tiny chance of that. but we don't have the details. We don't have the data on the new center. That's what is important.
Yeah.
The tornado risk for people, I know a few people are asking about that. It's very, with Florida.
Oh my God, we got a $50 donation.
donation.
Wow.
Wait,
Wait,
what?
We got a $50 donation.
$50 donation by Shane
Thank
Davis.
you.
Thank you very much for that. That means a lot to me.
There are multiple
And it means a lot
factors
to
that
everyone.
contribute to
I need a
tropical
cook.
tornadoes, and I'm gonna repeat them again for.
All right.
I'm gonna repeat them again for people. One, the location of where you're at in the storm is mostly the eastern and northeastern side. Two, is there any wind shear from a trough angle, a strong trough angle that is not just one that helps the direction of the storm, but one that provides some wind shear. Third, how much land difference is there? Are there small hills that help wind shear at the lowest levels of the atmosphere? Is it completely flat? And another thing is, tornadoes like moisture, but if a storm, let's say the storm did rapidly intensify. Let's say the system did go a Michael route. Well, what did Michael not do? It didn't produce a lot of tornadoes. Why? Because it was so symmetrical that the supercells did not really have time. It didn't matter anyway, because it did a lot of damage. But my point is that tropical tornadoes have so many little mesoscale factors within tropical systems. Some of the best tornadoes, Barrow had dry air in a trough. Ivan had dry air in a trough. It just depends on the meteorological setup during the landfall and beyond that determines your tornado potential, and also the terrain that it landfalls in.
Yeah. Okay. All right. In the meantime, though,
Tristan is stealing all of our fame here.
Honestly, I'm gonna be honest here. I don't like doing that. Y'all have a good conversation. I'm gonna get a nice drink.
All right, Tristan. Thank you for joining and giving us some insight.
I'm not going anywhere.
No. He's not going anywhere. He's not going anywhere.
My bad. Okay. In the meantime, though,
we want him here. The fans love him.
Yeah. In the meantime, I know they do. In the meantime, though, T-Vold just messaged me. He was asking for my own predictions for this whole system, and if you guys don't mind, I would like to give my input, and if you guys would like to give yours, your choice. But here's my total input. This is what T-Vold is asking for, and I'm sure this is what a lot of the audience would like here. This is my... Oh, wow. Thank you so much for the $10 donation, first of all.
Awesome.
You guys are all awesome. Thanks for the endless hours of information here on YouTube and in Discord. Your passion and dedication doesn't go unnoticed. Ken Janey, thank you very much. Really appreciate that. In the meantime, I will go to my forecast so that way we can neatly wrap this up in a nice little bow, and we can kind of give you a general consensus. Track-wise, I think the Big Bend is a good call for now. This thing is moved south of now south of Cuba, apparently either due to a relocation of the center or a change in the track for a few hours. We'll figure that out behind the scenes, but that's one of the two things. Track-wise, the Big Bend's a good call, and I do agree with the models that this thing's going to stall because of the collapse of the steering currents and the trough. I do agree with that.
Oh, I forgot about the GFS.
Yeah, we've been watching it. In the meantime, in terms of intensity, that's going to be a lot more difficult. Primarily because you have so many factors like shear, dry air. I know Alex behind the scenes was showing some influence of some west-southwesterly shear. We need to pay attention to it. We need to keep an eye on it, and that might be an inhibiting factor down the road if it does persist. My personal opinion on intensity, I do agree that this will be a hurricane. The NHC is even pointing out this could be a hurricane as well. And they're saying that they could put this as a hurricane in their forecasts. How strong of one? I'm capping it at 90. Because there's some inhibiting factors in regards to it. We need to pay attention to those. And every minute detail needs to be monitored. So that's why I'm holding it at 90. unless I see some information that completely blows this out of the water. What are your guys' thoughts? And what is your guys' input on that?
I agree with you.
I think
I agree.
I think the thing
As of now,
you
I
have
agree.
to-
I'm not ruling out a stronger storm, but as of now, I do think it probably will be 90 miles an hour, maybe a low-end Cat 2, but we'll just see. I'm not ruling out a very strong storm in the Gulf, though. I'm not ruling that out in the slightest. Major hurricane, I'm not ruling out, but it's a very low chance right now.
Okay.
That could change.
Yeah.
That could change, but we'll see.
All right.
I'm
So
not-
okay.
It depends on multiple things, including the evolution of the storm,
Yep.
how it does
Exactly.
with Cuba.
Yep.
The waters are piping hot. That's not-
Yep.
There's no dry air.
Exactly. No dry air. Very
There is
little
some
wind
wind
shear.
shear, but remember, we have seen before. That doesn't mean it's gonna happen. We have seen storms fight wind shear amazingly when there's no dry air. So
Yeah.
even if the system got sheared last second, would it really do anything? No. Besides produce more tornado chances.
Yeah.
Barrel that Arrow had.
Yeah. For sure.
So-
I remember seeing someone. Oh, go.
All I would say is get ready for the worst, hope for the best. Storm doesn't affect you that bad. Keep the supplies for a next hurricane or the next hurricane season, and just
I'm clapping.
pay
don't worry.
attention.
Yep.
Pay attention.
I think we can agree on that right there. We can agree on
Alex
that
is saying there
statement.
is dry air. I mean, if there is dry air, there's probably very little of it.
Yeah, there's definitely some on the western side of it for sure. But
Where
we
is this
have to
dry
keep an
air
eye on
at?
it.
Let me look. Remember, I haven't looked at the storm that much.
That's
I'm just
true.
going off instinct.
That's true.
Let me
That's
check
true.
this dry
Yeah.
air.
Yeah, Alex, I see it too. But anyway,
There is some dry air on the western side. If you see an outflow boundary.
yeah. All right.
All right, I'm gonna take
Well, I
off.
think we
now.
just got a what is
All right,
it?
Justin, you heading out?
Yeah.
just-
Well, thank you
Well,
for
I'll
the
be
very
around for the next
enlightening
section.
moments you had here, and I'm glad we were able to wrap this up nicely with you here.
Yeah, of course.
All right, you have a nice night.
Oh yeah, we might
You
might
too.
see a little dry air.
Yeah.
There probably is some dry air.
Okay, we got another $10 donation right here. This is another question, but is there a possibility that this tropical depression, based on how large it looks, could be a very large hurricane? I'm talking over 600 miles. No.
No,
We're not even talking about that.
That's like the size of oh god, that's like half of the United
like
States.
Katrina
I'm pretty
size.
sure.
No,
No.
it's not gonna be
No.
that big. Could the influence of the moisture be a little
Absolutely
bigger,
not.
considering the trough and high pressure angle? Yeah, but it's not gonna be a huge system. Small to medium system, I would say, depending on the intensification and the moisture influence, I would say.
Yeah.
But remember, again,
Yeah.
that's just my thoughts.
That's fair.
That's not.
That's fair. That's fair.